It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Welcome back to another BCSN conversation. Today we have with us the head basketball coach of the Florida Memorial Lady Lions. The Lions are at the time of this recording 3-4 on this young season. So, Coach Stanback, how you doing today? How's everything going? How's the family? Let's get all that out the way first.
We're doing good. Family's good. We're all taking it one day at a time. Still living and blessed.
All right. And well, first of all, I wanted to start off with saying congratulations. You guys are ranked in our current BCSN poll.
Okay.
I believe you guys are ranked number 2 as of right now, behind Talladega. Obviously, you guys don't play Talladega in the GCAC. You guys compete in the Sun Conference. So, yes. For those who are not familiar with the Sun Conference, because it's not one of our traditional HBCU conferences, tell us a little bit about the conference that you compete in.
Well, the Sun Conference has been around for a while. It's a very competitive, tough conference. Obviously, Southeastern's in our conference. Before we moved over to one complete division, in Division II portion of it, Southeastern was the number 1 team in the country for the past couple of years. We've always able to send 3 teams to the national tournament from our conference. So it's a very balanced, tough conference with the top, 6 teams. I would say we're always in that mix. The past couple of years, we finished 3rd or 4th, no lower than 4th in the conference. So very competitive. We're able to compete with Division IIs and low D1 competition. So talent level is very, very, very high in our conference, believe it or not, compared to some other conferences around the country. There's a lot of Division I transfers in our conference. Obviously, we get a lot of those students as well. So the Southeastern, so does Weber, so does St. Thomas. So it's very, very competitive than what it was maybe 10 years ago.
And your conference is primarily in the state of Florida, which was probably where the name comes from, the Sun Conference.
Absolutely.
And there are a couple of schools in the southern part of Georgia who compete in your conference also.
Yes, Thomas, Georgia, which is in Thomasville, Georgia, and Coastal Georgia, who is in Brunswick, Georgia. So those are the 2 teams from Georgia that are in our conference as well. And then everyone else is either Central Florida. The southern teams is us and St. Thomas, Kaiser, if you want to call Ave Maria. We had Johnson and Wells in our conference. That's the team that won the conference last year, but they had their university to fold it to the school, so they're not in our conference this year.
All right. So now we've familiarized everybody a little bit with the conference, and you guys have your conference has done something unique. You guys pretty much jumped directly into conference play. Not a lot of out of conference games. You play one conference team for an out of conference game. But how has that been this year? Not having those exhibition games, those non-conference games to kind of figure out the nuts and the bolts, especially with a young team, a lot of freshmen, a lot of transfers on your team. How has that been for you this year, jumping straight into the fire, as I like to say?
It's been difficult. There's no way of getting around it. When you got a not necessarily young team, this is a new team. We're only bringing back 2 players from last year. So the players that we brought in are high caliber players. We got 2 Division II transfers, Division I transfer, We got 2 freshmen that had Division I offers that decided to come to us. So our talent level is the best it's been in the past couple years. But trying to get that nucleus of getting them to understand how to play together has been difficult. We have a lot of practices going against each other. We don't, because the campus is closed and it's really only the basketball teams on campus, we only have the luxury of trying to have a men's team to play against. So it's very difficult to see what we can do from a game situation. We can get it from practice, but they get to know players, get to know tendencies and different things like that. But when we have a practice team or we're able to get those games in, those exhibition games, those scrimmages, now I'm able to see what we have, what works, what doesn't work, who plays well together as players, who don't play well together. And they got to get to know each other in a game situation. And you can see early on in the games that we played, we had some close games that you guys did for us, obviously. And even on the road, it's difficult for them to come together and understanding, what do we like to do in these situations? What happens in this situation? So we're making it work. The good thing that I'm proud of this team is that, no matter what the score is, we'll battle back no matter what. We only had the one game, obviously Florida Gulf Coast, which was an exhibition game where we really got beat, and that's expected. But all the other games, we've been in every game until the end. And, it's just a matter of them coming together, putting it together. So it's been a challenge, but this team competes and they're doing a good job of working through all these challenges. So we're proud of them in that aspect.
Yes, you definitely keep your alumni and fans tuned to the internet, because I believe every game that you have played, win or lose this year, has been a 2-possession game or less this particular year, win or lose. So
Yeah, some tough ones. Our record is what it is, but the point is, like I told the players, we're playing for the conference. We're trying to get to that conference championship. This is something that, as coaching staff, we talked about, that was expected. That we're going to be in some close games that we may lose, and we got some factors for us or against us. How do you look at it? We're young, and a lot of those games I have 3. And at one point, I had 4 freshmen on the floor at that time, but they all are good. They can play. They can handle it. So the future looks bright. That's all I can say. So we'll take a couple of lumps here and there, some close losses, but sometimes your losses will help you down the road.
Yeah, I guess the most important thing is make sure you don't lose the same way twice.
Yes.
Throughout the season. Obviously, something that not only affected your university, but every university in the nation has been the COVID-19 situation. So there's no secret about some of the trials and tribulations you guys had early at your university revolving the COVID and athletic departments dealing with COVID. But not to go back into that, but what lessons did you as a basketball coach learn from everything that went on during football and volleyball season that you were able to utilize now in your season?
Well, I mean, to be completely honest, we didn't have the same issues that football and volleyball was stating that they had. We never had that problem on the women's basketball side. Our players were all in. They wanted to play. They were taking precautions to do what they need to do to play. As a coach, it's different, just overall, regardless of that situation. Coaching with a mask on, trying to breathe, and kids always say, "What did you say? What did you say? What did you say?" And coaching from across the gym, is less hands-on in some certain situations. So, coaching is different, for me and my staff. Teaching is different. We're doing a lot of video as we record our practice always, but we're doing a lot of video breakdowns so we can show them individually. So it's changed how we coached the players. It's less interaction in some ways than what we would like to be. But it's just part of it until we get through this pandemic, and then we'll hopefully be back to normal. But from that situation before, the women's basketball program, we were always wanting to participate. Our players were all in. They made sacrifices. Obviously stay on campus, don't go out, don't do this, don't do that. So they, for the most part, have been doing what they needed to do, and I'm proud of them. It's difficult. It's a mental challenge. A lot of people don't realize that. This is not traditional for a freshman to come in. That's not what she thought her college experience would be. And, we got to keep them upbeat. We got to do things to let them know that this is abnormal, but you will get a real college experience. So with a lot of freshmen, it has been for them disappointing at times. So we're doing everything we can do as a coaching staff to keep them upbeat, to give them the best college experience through the pandemic as we can.
All right. Coach, I was looking up and down your roster, and you've got something unique on your roster when I look at it. Coach, you got as many players from the state of California as you do from the state of Florida. Please explain to me how it's not like you're in Arizona or New Mexico. These are two opposite ends of the country. Explain to me how this dynamic came about.
Well, it's funny. My assistant coach, Coach Joy Alameen, is from California. So that's her area where she goes to recruit. And, I guess I say my claim to fame is I got one kid on my own from California. And she got the rest. So I got one recruit. That's Giselle Garcia. And she was able to pick up the other kids from California. Cheyenne Whitfield actually went to the high school that she played at. So she came from her high school. So that's her alumni there. And the other two from Victor Valley Community College was through a coach that she knew out there. So she has a lot of connections in California. And we're looking to bring in more. We got a couple more on our radar that we're looking at. And a lot of it is just, I've been around in the game a long time. People don't realize that. I know have a lot of people, a lot of connections throughout the country. So we're able to recruit nationally. Where some people will be limited by budgets or different things like that. My connections that I built over the years allows me to be able to recruit New York, Chicago. This is the first year I don't have a kid on my team from Chicago. So I usually have a kid, 2 or 3 from Chicago. I'm looking to make up for that this year. So, we recruit all over. I use all my connections. If we have to travel, I need to travel, look at kids. So we do a good job with recruiting and bringing the kids in here. But Joy Alameen gets that credit.
Yeah, usually for a Chicago kid, it's not that bad. You sell them on that beach and everything, and then warm weather, they ready to get out there. Chicago, Detroit, New York, they ready to roll.
They ready to come. They ready to come. They're ready to get here. So yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Let's go up and down your roster just a little bit. Got as of early December, you got 3 players averaging double figures for you right now, led by Kiana Tolbert, Jamari Tillman, and Chantel Barnett. Just let's start off with those 3. Just kind of break those 3 down for you, what they mean for your team.
Well, obviously, Kiana Tolbert is our go-to player. She transferred from Prairie View AM. She's out of Orlando. She's just a player that, people may look at her skill set and feel, okay, this girl really can play or whatever, but it's her basketball IQ that gets her the advantage over a lot of other players that she's playing against. She's just a great leader on the court and off the court. What I really like about her, she's another coach on the floor, even in practice. And especially with the young players that we have and the freshmen that we got to play, she's always teaching them, telling them things, this is how we're going to do this, or you need to do this, give them the little ins and outs, the little tricks, so to speak. But she can flat out score. There's no other way to get around it. Defensively, we're trying to get her to pick it up a little bit more defensively, because when she decides to turn it on, she can really be a lockdown defender. So we're proud to get her, and obviously she's leading our conference in scoring, 24 a game. So we rely on her a whole lot. The next player that we have, who did you?
I said Tillman and Barnett.
Barnett is the other player that I told you that's the freshman. She's out of Cleveland, Ohio. My joke is, as I tell her, as a Steeler fan, I say, you the best thing that came out of Cleveland.
Even better than LeBron's from Akron, so I give you that one.
You the best person thing came out of Cleveland, and she always get me with these Browns. But I love this kid. She's a kid that is so good that she doesn't really realize how good she is. She's just so young-minded. Even though she's a freshman, she's just a kid at heart. When I say a kid at heart, she is someone that's brighten up your day, even in practice. She's always even keel, always have a smile on her face. But she can get after it. She can attack the rim. She can play defense. She can shoot the 3. But she's a freshman, and she's learning that the game is faster. The people are stronger. So she's doing a great job in developing her skill set to match the college level game. And as a freshman, to be scoring double figures in the minutes that she's getting is really impressive, because usually a lot of freshmen don't get a lot of playing time. But this girl's a player that can go. She's one of the ones that had a couple Division I offers and decided to come to Florida Memorial. So we're proud of that and everything. And Jamari Tillman, another transfer, Division II out of Lincoln University, out of PA, my hometown, but she's from Kentucky. The girl can just flat out shoot. She can shoot, and defensively, she's leading the conference in steals. So she gets after them both ends of the floor. So her energy is infectious. When we need to turn it up and get pressure, that's the one we try to go to. We try to get her in those passing lanes, try to get her to jumpstart, especially if we're looking to press and different things like that. So with the three of those girls, those three guards, they really do a good job of working together. They still have to learn how to play together, because they're all go-to players in their own right. If you tell them who's going to win the game, they all raising their hand. They all want the ball. So it's just a matter of getting them to learn how to play off of each other rather than play individually. And that's what happened in a couple of our games, a couple of things. But they all have a green light mentality. I mean, they have the green light. I'm not shutting down, but the mentality is trying to get them to understand how to play off of each other and basically use your other teammates to have the ball go through them to come back to you. So we're getting there. I'm proud of those three, but they really get after it, and they're very competitive. All three of them don't like to lose in anything. Extremely competitive.
Yeah. So I guess when you call 4 low or 4 flat or whatever you call it in your huddle, they all running towards the ball trying to get it.
Yes, that's how Oregon. They all want to be the one with the ball coming off that screen. I got a coach. And I'm like, oh, who's it going to be this day?
Hey, whichever one of y'all hot getting it right now.
Yep.
Couple other players you got, and one of the junior college transfer, Destiny Marin, you know, can flat out shoot the ball.
Yes.
You know, that's the one thing I've noticed about her. I saw it in her stats before I saw her play, that I could tell she was a shooter, but then seeing it live, totally different.
Yes.
Heather Duran and let's take those two right there. Then we keep going further down on your list.
Once again, two more transfers. Destiny is someone that came from Victor Valley Community College. He can flat out shoot the 3 or the 2. We're trying to add more to her game. There's more to her game that a lot of people haven't seen, because she's relying on just that one dimension. So we're trying to get her to, you know, attacking the rim a little bit more and being a little bit more involved in our passing game. She's someone that can get out in our transition, because we like to play fast. She's going to get to her position and be ready to shoot that 3. If there's any doubt in your mind what's going to happen in the game, Destiny Marin's going to be on her spot, ready to knock down a 3. So now teams are picking up on that. So now we're just adding to her game, because she can really attack the rim, but she just really haven't had a reason to do it. Now that teams are picking up on it, now we're trying to evolve that in her game. So another great kid that came from California, like I said, flat out shoot. And Heather Durant, she's someone that we are very excited about. She came from Lynn University. She was at a university prior to that where she was more of a scoring threat. When she went to Lynn, they didn't have her in that role. So we're trying to bring her back to that role of scoring. And as you can see in the last couple games in that second half, it's starting to come back, because she can shoot the 3, she can drive, she has great size, she can post up. She's our player that can do everything if we get her into that ability of mindset of scoring. But the issue we have is we have so many scorers on our team trying to figure out where she fits in. And that's what she's trying to do. And we're trying to get her in that same mentality, that you got to have that dog mentality that, you know, when I get the ball, I'm taking this to the rack, or I'm going to knock this 3 down because I'm wide open. So she's a great asset to us as well.
Right. All right. And last game we had, she just kind of took over the fourth quarter there for you for a while as you guys were making a comeback against Weber International. So next one, Giselle Garcia, who basically is a space eater there in the middle. Decent defensive player, can score when you need her to. You've got Unique Tate, and you've got Cheyenne Winfield. So let's get those 3 out the way.
Yeah, Giselle Garcia is the other one from California. When I recruited her, the thing that sold me, to believe it or not, I said, well, who do you? Because I know she had great footwork as a high school kid, and I said, well, who do you patting your game off? She said, Akeem Olajuwon. And I said,
Wow.
that surprised me. I'm like, for you to know who he is, number one, in a high school player, that was impressive. And now I understand why you have good footwork. So that told me right there that she's one that really knows the game. She's going to be coachable, and she has a thirst for learning. And when she came here, all those things were true. Our biggest issue with her is because we play so fast, and with her size, we got to find a way. How do we fit her in? And we're starting to get better at that. And that's the thing I alluded to before. If we had those games early on, then we can see with different sets where we can put her in the games, where we need to slow the game down a little bit to change momentum. If we want to pick up more fouls on a post play or whatever, because her footwork is great. The issue with her is she's a freshman, and just learning that, for all these freshmen, that speed of the game just really gets them. And she just got to learn that you got to play a little faster now, and in the post area. So she's doing a great job for us. Unique Take is one of the ones I brought back from the previous year. She's a junior. She's another shooter. She comes off the bench for us. For Unique Tate, it's just a matter of just finding a spot for her, because it's not like she can't play. It's just when you got those three, Chantel Barnett, Jamari Tillman, and Kiana Tolbert ahead of you, when she gets in, she gives us valuable minutes. So for her, it's just a matter of how do I contribute to help the team out in the minutes that I get on the court. Who's the other one?
Whitfield.
Oh, Winfield. Winfield's coming along. I remember when Winfield came in, she came from California as well. That's the one that's went to Coach Joy Alameen's high school, her alma mater. She's just someone that just wants to learn. She's the one that we have in practice to ask a lot of questions. Well, what do you mean by this? How do you do this? Why are we doing this? And that tells me a whole lot about her. When we were recruiting her, she said, Coach, I can play the game. I'm athletic, but I really need to be somewhere where I can be taught, because my IQ has to get better. And you can see that developing with her. And she's someone that we're really trying to find a spot for. She can play the 4, she can play the 3, she can play the 2, she can drive the ball. And in that last game against Weber, what we really liked is we put her in that 4 position, because we were getting killed on the boards. And she did a great job coming in, getting rebounds, finishing at the rim. And once again, as a freshman, to get in and come in and do that against Weber, who's pretty good in their post play. Their post play is not bad. She held her own. So we're very excited about her. We figured out something new that, maybe we just have to have her at the 4, because we're really playing her at the 3 and the 2. But when we moved her to that 4 position, she really excelled a little bit more in that game. So that's something that we're looking at with her in that position.
All right, and rounding out your roster is Angelique Tyrone, Janae Marks, and Michael Cooper. So
yes,
get on those 3.
Angelique is another one I brought back. She's a senior. She's our Dennis Rodman, as we call it. She gets in there. We just need her to go in there and get boards and get rebounds. She was, believe it or not, at one point 3rd in the country rebounds. Then she got hurt with a knee and was out for 3 games, and that set her back. And so she is really trying to get back in the swing of things. Unfortunately, I wish we had some games, but some games got canceled with COVID. So on the Weber game, it was like her 2nd game coming back since the injury. So she really hasn't found her footing yet after being out for 2 weeks. So those are things that hurt us as we talk about. It's just, if you have an injury and then you miss games because of the COVID situation with other teams, now it's hard to get that rhythm back, that playing rhythm back with our players. But she's coming along. She's a beast on the boards. And in our offense, she's our rabbit that gets out and run a transition. She came here as a track athlete that played basketball. We just turned her into a basketball player that runs track now. So she's doing a great job for us. And the other 2 rounding off, Janae Marks and Micah Cooper, 2 freshmen point guards coming in. Obviously, we get them in where we can. They play behind Tillman and Tolbert. But they do a great job for us in practice and pushing the issue, and is that second team in practice to go against. Micah Cooper played her father's a coach, so she has a coach's mind. So when she's in the game, when we put her in the game, we know things are going to run the right way. She's going to put people in the right spots and different things like that. But for her, we just, as a freshman, as you can see, she's a little small. We're trying to get her bigger in the weight room and different things like that so that she can be a real contributor. So I see those 2 by the time that they're sophomore year, the middle of sophomore year, junior year, really contributing to our program.
You've got one conference matchup left before the calendar year turns. So What are you trying to get out this last conference matchup before you get into the new year?
Well, we just want to play better defense. What's really hurting us right now is we're just not good on defense. There's no way of getting around it. With the athleticism that we have and the style that we play, I understand that we're going to give up some more points because we play fast. We know that, but we're leading the conference in scoring at 78 points a game, but we're giving up 76. That can't happen. In the years past, when we weren't playing this style, when we were playing more half-court type offense, our goal was to keep teams under 55. Now that we know that we're playing faster and there's going to be more opportunities for other teams to score, our goal is to keep teams under 65. If we do that and we're scoring at the rate that we're scoring, we're going to win a lot of games. But we're just giving up too many points. And, defensively against Southeastern, who's obviously the best team in our conference right now, that's a team that's always been ranked number one, that played in the national championship 2 years ago for the NAI. We're just looking to play better defense against them and seeing how we can play better team defense. We're good on the ball defense, but we're not good team defensive. We're not a good team defensive team. Our help side defense is really hurting us, and that's where we're getting beat a lot with ball rotations. And the other fact is we just get out rebounded. So those two factors that we're really looking hopefully to prove on this Saturday against Southeastern. It's going to be a test for us. We feel we have the ability to beat them, but we got to play better defense. It won't be our offense. I keep telling the players, we're going to score. We're just too talented. We're going to score. There's nobody in our conference that can shut those three down, or even when Durant start playing, there's nobody in our conference that can shut them down. But we got to be able to stop other teams, and our defense has to get better.
Before you break away for Christmas, you got a couple of exhibitions scheduled next week. Get some division ones in your area. You've got Florida International on Monday, Stetson on Tuesday, and Florida Atlantic. I believe that is Friday. That's going to be on Friday, next Friday. So, what are you trying to gain out of those exhibitions against that D1 level of competition?
I just want our players to know that they can compete with anybody in the country. I always schedule a hard schedule at the beginning, so when we get into conference play, it's a little bit easier because you can go against better competition. A lot of teams in our conference don't do that. I don't schedule cupcakes on purpose because I just don't think that's going to make us better. So when we play these Division Ones, they're expected to beat us, but I'm a competitor. I'm trying to beat them. We're coming in there. We're trying to take you down. We want to be that team on ESPN that says Florida Romero beat XYZ. So when we go in these games, we're running our sets. We're looking to see what works, what don't work. But it's good for us. It's good for our program. It's good for recruiting to show that we play Division I teams as well. And it's good for our players like Tolbert, Barnett, Tillman, Durant to also see where they match up against some of these players at Division I universities and how they're going to excel playing against these teams. So this is exciting time. I love playing against better competition, regardless of who it is. But in these exhibitions, we just want to get better. Get out there without getting hurt, have our players get better. And of course, it's exhibition. They're paying us money, and make sure the check clears.
All right. After you break from Christmas, you'll be coming back for the bulk of the season in January. What is it going to take from Florida Memorial University to not only win the conference, but to get to the national tournament in the second half of the season?
Number one, as I mentioned before, we got to play better defense. I feel if we play better defense, and it's going to take a while for our team to gel. That's going to happen. I believe by middle of January, beginning of February, this team should be where it needs to be with everything going on. I think if those two things take place, we're going to be in a position to win. Our goal is to make the playoffs. I don't care what position we are, just make the playoffs. And then from the playoffs, we make a run. So for us coming back in January in the second half, we got to win those close games that we lost before. We win those close games by playing better defense, and we win those games by us playing better together as a team. We got the talent level to do it. We got the players to do it, the coaching staff to do it. I'm proud of my coaches and how they prepare every week for these games. But we just got to do a better job defensively starting in January. And the playing together is going to come. That's going to come.
All right. And next time you guys do lace it up in January, you'll be at home, and that game will be right here on the Black College Sports Network as you take on Warner University on January the 2nd at 2:00. So we definitely look forward to seeing you again on the Black College Sports Network. I'm gonna let you get out of here, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Last word. I'm gonna give you the final word. Give me that last speech before we hit the floor, Coach. Anything you got to say?
I just want to say thank you all for everything you do to promote not just the game of basketball, but the women's game of basketball, especially on the HBCU level. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good talent that's out there. We see it because we play against them. But, a lot of these kids don't get that notoriety or that recognition. And you guys are a vehicle that do that for us. And we're thankful for that and your support. And anything we can do to get this first victory for you guys at home, the Lord Jesus, it's bothering me that we're losing at home. But, we had a tough schedule. We only had 2 home games the whole first half. So now we're going to do everything at home. But the main thing is I just appreciate the support that we get with you guys and for the ladies to have an avenue for them to play and an avenue for their parents to see them play because of COVID. You would be surprised the feedback that we get from the kids. I need to get that to you guys to see from the parents. They really like what's going on. So
appreciate that.
Kids play and announcing and commentating that's going on. They're really impressed with that, and I'm thankful for it.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, and from my executive producer and CEO Roy Evans and my broadcast partner Brian Fulford, we greatly appreciate that. And this is gonna be a sidebar before we get out of here. But one reason I love trying to put out our HBCU athletes. Number one, I'm a 2-time graduate of HBCU, Florida A&M and Tuskegee University.
Yeah, I see the hat.
Number 2, I coach basketball. I was assistant coach on the HBCU level. So I recognize on the men's side, so I recognize what we don't get as far as coverage from HBCUs. But after I coached men's college basketball, I don't know if I was dumb enough or smart enough to go and coach high school girls basketball. As bad as I thought it was for men's college basketball, going and coaching high school girls basketball, I realized it was even rougher. That's why, from a personal point, that's why I had that commitment to not only helping our HBCUs, but especially on the women's side. It's no fun when everybody comes in your game at halftime to get a good seat for the men's game. You need to come in and watch us win, watch us do what we need to do on the women's side.
Absolutely. So we just use our motto, hey, we're getting the show started. That's what I tell our players. Let's get out there and get the show started.
And getting the show started is Coach Gregory Stanback, head women's basketball coach at Florida Memorial University. Lions are ranked number 2 in the latest BCSN NAIA poll. So, Coach, I don't say good luck. You already know that. I don't say good luck. I always tell you continue to work hard, and excellent things will come to you. And we definitely look forward to seeing you, on the Black College Sports Network throughout the season.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and thank you for your support.
All right, so for Coach Gregory Stanback, this is AD Drew, and this has been another BCSN conversation. We'll see you next time. All right.
Our podcast you can find everywhere you listen to podcasts. Just do a search for BCSN Sports Rap. You can also find many of our shows on YouTube at MyJBN online, at BCSN Sports Rap on Facebook as well. Go download the app, Jericho Broadcast Network app. Search MyJBN or MyBCSN on Google Play Store or iTunes Store. That's where you can download the app.
Major.